10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Confidence, arrogance, either way, I'm a mess whenever I see that smile.
Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. In this episode, as you can see to the left of me, there is a lovely young woman. She has been writing, recording for years, and she's had a very great mentor in the name of Gina Jeffries. She's had 4 singles off her latest album. It's called Life of the Party, and she's got a brand new single from that album. It's called Bad Idea, and today Dax chats to Max Jackson. G'day, Max. How
Hey,
are ya?
Dax, this is hilarious. There are so many rhymes and it's making my songwriter heart so happy.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, right? Your name is Max Jackson.
It is.
The reason
Max Jackson.
the reason I called myself Dax is because my wife's name is Max,
Oh my
and
God.
and my son's name is Jackson.
Honestly.
Honest to God.
And crazier.
I thought you would laugh at that. I thought you would have a great time with that. Yes, my
I
son's
love that.
name.
What I can tell you.
My son's name is Jaxon, so it's not Jackson but so we used the Max, Jax, Dax, and it became the Axe family.
That is amazing, Dax. That's hilarious and the best way I probably ever started an interview, I have to tell you.
There you go. I was really looking forward to this interview because I was like, my wife, my son, me, you, it all fits.
We have so much in common already and we've literally just met, so it's perfect.
That's right. That's right. So tell me about your journey. Like it says on your bio that your journey's been longer than this album. It's been 10 years in the making.
It has. It's been a really long and super fun journey. So pretty much back in 2009 was when I left school, and I was really lucky to win this competition where I met Gina Jeffries and Rod McCormack, my producer. So that kind of kickstarted like my real journey towards working to put out music. So been writing for so long towards my album, literally 10 years worth of songs that I was deciding from in the studio, and so happy to finally have original music out in 2020, which has been a weird year, but we'll get to that obviously. We will. But look, it's been a really fun journey. I'm a country girl from a country town in Western New South Wales called Coonamble, and I grew up with country music and watching people like my now mentor, Gina Jeffries. So very fun journey, and I've loved every minute of it.
So you've written with people that have written with the likes of, or written for the likes of Keith Urban. There's a whole heap of names that I can't find right now. They're on your bio, but you've written over in Nashville with some great songwriters. Obviously, you've written with Rod McCormack. What's the process been like for you? Because it's been a long time coming to get to this point. So, what was the process like of heading off to Nashville and going through all of that?
Yeah, it's been such a crazy, like when I look back on it, I think, oh my gosh, I can't actually believe, from writing songs in my bedroom when we made a big move when I was about 12 years old, I kind of went very inward and went into my songwriting at that stage. And it's crazy to think from going from writing songs in my bedroom that I wouldn't even sing to my parents to then ending up in Nashville and writing with some of those writers. I mean, it sounds crazy thinking about it like that, but obviously it's very slow in between. Look, for me, songwriting has always been a real outlet, and it really has been like therapy for me. So it's kind of been in the toughest times and the best of times is when I've been writing songs. And I started kind of just writing songs because I wanted to, and because I was younger and I had a guitar and I wanted to pretty much be Taylor Swift at the time. I just thought, well, I'm going to write my own songs because that's what she was doing. And then, writing for some other artists, then ended up in Nashville. And I honestly, like, I have to be really honest with you, Dax. I am a super anxious and nervous person. So every single time before I would walk in the door of every single one of those rides, I was like completely doubting myself, because I'm thinking, these people are world famous. They've written hit #1 songs. And then you would walk through the door and every single one of those people are like the most humble, kind, amazing people you've ever met. And you think, actually, no, I can do this. I can totally do this, because they're the nicest people ever. So the journey's been crazy, but when you actually get in those rooms, you think they're just like regular people telling stories. So I've loved it.
Cool. So you've actually released 4 singles. I only know of 2 of them. How's that? That's bad of me.
Not bad at all. It just means you've got more to find.
So you've written you from the album you've released the first song. Well, that's
First
not
was
the first
Saturday.
song. Saturday. That's right. Saturday was the first song. Talk us through Saturday. What was the track about?
Yeah, so it was literally just about looking forward to the weekend. So as simple as that. I really wanted to put out my very first song to be something really positive and light and fun. And it really is just a song kind of, like when you're in that grind in the week and you think all I can wait for is Saturday morning for a sleep in and a relax. So it was just very, very lighthearted and fun. And then the next single was, I'm pretty sure it was How to Love a Girl. I'm trying to remember back because it's been a manic year.
It was How to Love a Girl. That's correct. Now,
so How to Love a Girl kind of told the story of me as a young child. I was a little bit difficult. And just from a very young age, I just knew what I wanted when I wanted it. And that song is kind of, how to love a girl who really does know what she wants and when she wants it.
I can understand that. My wife's a very independent woman, and it can be very difficult to love a woman like that.
And that's one of the lyrics is like, just go away and like we'll just go away and we'll come back. I promise we'll come back. We just need to go away, take a minute to capture this mind of thoughts that are going on, and we'll be back. I promise.
For sure. And then you came out with the title track, Life of the Party. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, of course. So Life of the Party is actually my story of my struggle with anxiety. So I mentioned before that I am a very anxious and nervous person, and I have been since I was a little girl. And it's something that it seems quite crazy, I would say, obviously, that I've chosen to stand up in front of crowds when I suffer with bad anxiety. But I think it's that whole thing of, when you find something that you love, you're just really not going to let anything stop you. And as much as it's really been a massive struggle for me, and it's something that I have to work on every single day, it is a part of my life. And it was a really important part of my life that I wanted to share, because I know that there's so many other people out there who also suffer with anxiety and different mental health issues. And I just wanted to have that as the title track of my album, because it's like, yeah, it's a part of who I am, and it's something that I'm not embarrassed to talk about. And I know that if I do talk about it, there's going to be somebody else out there who feels a bit less alone, hopefully.
Well, it's amazing that you say that, because most creatives have some sort of mental health disorder, really. I mean, for most of my life, I've suffered with depression, like it's just something that happens. And so my outlet was music. I would write songs, I would produce songs, I just put myself into something that I enjoyed doing. And I did the same thing. I went out and toured way back in early 2000s, like I'm a bit old now. But even with this new pandemic that we're all dealing with that we're going to talk about. Early on in the pandemic, for me, as you know, I'm in China. My father passed away this year during
Sorry to
the
hear.
the it's okay. But during the big lockdown of Australia, he passed away, and the rules were, you could only have 10 people at a funeral, and it was just not viable. I couldn't even fly back to Australia. I couldn't go and self isolate once I got there, and then go to it was a crazy time. So I suffered all the emotional torment of it, and so I just went out and wrote a song and produced it at home and released it to the world, just so that I could sort of decompartmentalize and just get the emotions out and just be done with it, and that helped. I mean, it didn't do any well, but I think 157 radio stations downloaded it in Australia, which was fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I think that is really fantastic. And look, like you say, we don't. Well, I know I don't. And like you're saying right now, you didn't write that song to have it put out on the radio and to have it become the world's greatest song. You wrote that song because it was something right from your heart. And what you've been through is unbelievably difficult in this time. And I'm so sorry to hear that. And there's so many stories like that right now, isn't there? And I think it's so important that we talk about mental health, especially in the creative space, because there's never been a time like this for all of us.
And exactly. And it's really funny that we are speaking on Are You OK Day.
We are, I know, and it's something I've been posting all over social media about today, about Are You OK Day, and about so many other things. And I think we need to check in on each other all the time. But I think today is the perfect reminder, and it's the perfect day to kickstart that.
For sure. I mean, I did a post. Mine was a bit negative because I was, like everybody's posting, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" So I'm like, well, no, I'm not okay. Like here's a guy that has his family here in China. There's no flights to Australia. I can't go home. If I could go home, I'd have to go and spend money to stay in a quarantine hotel, and I just don't like that idea at all. So yeah, I'm certainly struggling with this whole issue. How has it been for you? Because obviously you've been releasing music during this time where you can't get out and perform, you can't do anything. All you've got is the music that you're releasing to radio, and hopefully people pick it up on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. And then you've got social media, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, well, I would just explain it as a roller coaster because I think at the beginning.
Well, let's go one better than that. Roller coaster is the normal term, but Katie from Scarlett's Way, when we did our Dax Chats interview way back then, she called it a Corona coaster.
Oh my God, it has been a Corona coaster of emotions. Absolutely. I think I started it just crying on the couch. To be like 1,000% honest with you, Dax, I have to be honest because that's what I do. I write my songs about my worst points. I started crying on the couch. Couldn't believe everything that is happening. So worried about everybody in the world. I think that's my empath coming out. I'm just so worried about everybody all the time. But look, I definitely had to bring myself up out of that. And music, in those times where we were just completely in our homes, music was a massive thing for my partner, Jeremy, and I. Every morning we'd get up and we'd be like, okay, what music are we going to listen to over breakfast? And then that turned into me actually picking my guitar up and playing again. And then it actually turned into this idea to do a deluxe version of my album. I was lucky enough where we are that it was safe enough for me to go to the studio and work, and literally just go from my house to the studio, and that was it. But we actually came up with this idea, and Bad Idea is the lead single off that deluxe version of the album. And I just thought, you know what? I think I was so overwhelmed at the fact of the thing where they were saying, what is an essential and what is a non-essential job. And I think in my whole life, we've never, ever heard that before. Of course, every job is essential because it's a job, right? But for the first time in our lives, it's like what you do is non-essential. And I'm like, you know what? This is so essential right now to have music going into people's homes, bringing them joy, lifting them up, and making them feel good. And I'm like, I'm not a nurse. I can't be out there on the front line. I'd love if I could fast track my training and help, but unfortunately that's not going to work. So I thought if I can write my songs and send them out into a living room where maybe someone's having an awful day or they're lonely and they play that song and it makes them feel good for the 3 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it is that it goes for, I feel like I've done my job. So that's kind of where my thought path went. And I have been feeling so much better being creative and doing that.
It is an essential part of life. I don't think anybody for generations have been able to go through life without music. I mean, music is, it is that thing that, changes our mood and, uplifts us. And it's definitely essential. It's been essential to me all my life, My parents had huge record collections, so it was essential to their lives, I don't see why they say we're non-essential workers,
I just think, isn't that so crazy? And for a second you go, my gosh, they can't say that firstly, and then you go, hold up, I can't do the thing I love. And it's just about shifting that focus and going, look, you know what? That path is a little bit blocked up at the moment, but I'm going to make another one. And actually, Gina Jeffries really helped me with it because I kept in contact with her every single day, and Rod McCormack, my producer. And, they were saying to me, because I was meant to be out on Gina's tour all around Australia this year, and it was my first year of touring. I was so looking forward to getting out, shaking people's hands, saying hello, and that didn't happen. And they were calling me, checking in, going, we know this was your year and you were so excited. And look, we really worked through it together, and they really encouraged me to do this deluxe version and put out some new and kind of reimagined versions of favorites from the album. So I'm so glad that we went ahead, because it's been such an awesome couple of weeks having that song out.
So you talked about your partner before, and your partner is the idea of the song Bad Idea. Apparently it was all about your female friends telling you how much of a bad idea it was to be with this guy.
Yes, actually that is exactly it. So we got together back in school, and so there was that whole schoolyard talk of every single time somebody started dating at school, and my gosh, these girls were like, oh, you know what, he's a bit of a rock star because he is a guitarist. I don't know a good idea. I don't know if he's in it for the long haul, Anyway, we're 11 years in and we're getting married next year. So I think we're good. But
Good.
Maybe secretly one of the girls liked him too. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Isn't that funny that, like me as a musician as well, like I'd always have, the girl's parents saying, oh, he's going to be no good, or the girl's friend's going to be saying he's no good. He's just a singer. He doesn't do anything. He's just a guitarist. He doesn't do anything, like it's that perception that we're all bad people. I
don't know what's going on. It's like, two people are happy. Let them be happy, I say.
Yeah, that's right. It took me a long time to be happy like that, because there is that stigmatism of, musicians are bad and they're not good for you and you're never going to get anywhere with a musician. And oh my goodness.
Oh, it's so funny, isn't it? No, but we're so lucky to have each other, especially in this time, to really support each other through what has been a crazy time. So I'm very grateful for Jeremy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Dread to say, what's coming for you in this crazy time? Obviously, we know that Tamworth's now been cancelled, so there's no Tamworth. What are you looking ahead for? Where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, absolute sad face for Tamworth. And I actually put up a post today just in support of them and saying, like, we understand, because I know there's been so much outpouring of sadness, but obviously it's such a difficult decision for the Tamworth Country festival to make, and I feel sorry for the people who had to make that decision. It must have been awful, but we understand, and 2022 will be the best year ever. You have to come down.
The 50th anniversary is going to be crazy. Absolutely.
Exactly. Look, for me, when you ask what am I looking forward to, there is so much I'm looking forward to. I'm currently in the studio actually working on a new version of another song from the album. So working on that, I'm literally about 2 hours off finishing that in the studio. Release that. Then I'm just going to start writing some new music and keep working on it. Like, you know what? The goal has never changed for me. It's always just been to write from my heart and my soul with my guitar, record that music, put it out and connect with people. So the goalpost hasn't changed. It's just been a bit of an interesting year, obviously.
It has. Now, during the year, we've had to switch things up. Obviously, you know, we're doing things like this virtually. Everything's being virtual now, you know. How have you done in the virtual space? Have you done any live shows on your Max Jackson Facebook page, Instagram, any of that?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of those kind of things. I've done some kind of collaborations with other friends and artists, and actually with Jeremy's band, the Viper Creek band, they've been doing like, and not right at the moment, but kind of when everyone was in lockdown, they were doing like a weekly thing, and I would jump on and do a song. And I really love it because it was such a special way for everyone to stay connected in that time. At the moment, though, I've just been so busy in the studio. I feel like I'm one of those people who I have to focus on one thing.
Yep.
I have to be doing the live show, or I have to be doing the recording, and I have to put my whole body and soul and heart into it. But look, I love the online shows. I love watching other people's, and I think it's fantastic.
I had an artist the other day say something about the live events that it sort of made sense. Because all of this has been, you know, you're basically throwing your content out for free, you know, because you can't go and perform, you can't go and do ticketed events, you can't, you know, so you've basically lost all of your income from any type of music stream, you know. Obviously Spotify don't pay us anything. So how do you feel about putting it out there and not getting any sort of return? I know this artist actually just released a single, and he did a paid thing on YouTube. So people would have to pay to come and see his launch party as such. And I think more people should be looking at that. If we're going to be stuck in this virtual world for so long, we've got to still figure out how to monetize it, because that is our bread and butter. That's what we do. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think that's why in the past I've always done things where it's just a quick jump on, hello, sing a song, check in that everyone's doing okay, and jump off. I haven't really done kind of the whole show thing before. I really do value music and value other people's music and my own. And I do think that it really is worth a ticket price and things like that. So I think that's such a fantastic idea and a fantastic way to go about it. And I think because we've all been thrown into this, I think the technology is quickly catching up. So I think we're going to have so many more platforms to be able to do that in a really, really good way coming up in the future. And I know there's lots of like little kind of small TV studios and things popping up that people are doing, you know, full production shows and things. I've seen some crazy cool stuff. Like I saw Casey Barnes do this concert online that was like a stadium tour, and I thought that was so cool as well. So I think that the technology is having to move really fast, but I think that it's absolutely, if, you know, we are stuck in this for a really long time, we definitely need to find a way to monetize it. And I think people don't mind paying to go and see a show. I think it's just about how we do that and where we do that.
Yeah, I think living room lives, you know, like that's all great. It's all well and good. But you know, we just can't keep throwing it out there. We have to stay connected. We have to stay connected to our audience, but in doing that, we also sort of have to pay our bills, and have to put the money back, have to put in the money back into the next project, or the next video clip or whatever. We've still got to keep the cogs turning. So with this whole year, there's been so many artists, and even Casey Barnes putting on a full stadium style show on your Facebook screen or on your YouTube screen. It should have been a ticketed event. It should have been something where he was getting a return from it. Like Garth Brooks in America did a stadium style event, and it went across hundreds of drive-in theaters. He wasn't anywhere near the drive-in theaters, but it went across hundreds of drive-in theaters across America. He made more money in one day doing that in one show than he would have made on a whole world tour.
That's special. That is amazing. I'll have to check that out. I didn't even hear that was happening. So Dax, thank you. I'm going to do my research.
Absolutely. I think if we have to look at, we don't know how long we're going to be stuck in this situation. Like, here I am in China, and obviously it didn't impact China so badly because they really locked it down pretty quickly. 4,500 people perished, but 80,000 people infected. We're still getting little infections here every day. But when you think there's 1.4 billion people here, and the infection rate is like, I think yesterday there was 8 new infections in China. So it's summer, it's hot. So it's gone down. However, I don't know why that didn't work in America, because, it's summer in America, and America just went crazy. It went over the top. Australia's slowly coming down now. I think with the lockdown of Victoria, it is coming down. It's now under 100 each day. But I think by summertime, it's going to drop down. But what the problem we then have is it going to ramp back up in the cooler months? And that's what I'm worried about now here, because it's going to become cooler here, and I'm worried about it ramping up.
Fingers crossed not. Got all my fingers and toes crossed for you and for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been great talking to you. I've had a great time. Thank you very much.
I've had the best time too, Dax. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and sending positive vibes to you over there. I hope you're doing okay, and your family. And you know what? It's a crazy time, but it makes it so special and awesome to keep connected with great people like you. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll tell Max and Jax that Max Jackson said g'day.
Please do. I love this so much. Please say hi to them. They are my spirit.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Obviously, everybody, you can get Max Jackson's singles and the album Life of the Party on all your major streaming platforms, and you can download it from the same places: iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, all of that. You can listen to Life of the Party and Bad Idea on the Country Thunder Network. You can vote for her songs in the Country Thunder 20. Just go to our website, which is countrythunder.com.au, or follow the smart URL links from our web pages. Until next time, this is DJ Dax signing out for Dax Chats. Say bye, Max.
Thanks, Dax. Appreciate you playing the song. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.